YouTube family, what is up? So any question you got, drop in the chat. But I want to let every single one of you know this. If you're struggling right now, if you're not financially where you want it to be, if you're still stuck at the J or the B, even if you have $50,000, $100,000 set aside, but if you're not financially where you want it to be, Labor Day, Memorial Day, it doesn't matter. Holidays should not be the day that you're taking time off. It should be the day where you're like, hey, you know what? Dude, I need to take some time to build my own business, man. You got to make the sacrifice. Pay the price today so you can wake up and pay any price you want, my friend. Dude, the sacrifice must be made. So unless you're financially set, you shouldn't be laying back. You should not be chilling right now. That's what I'm saying. If your boy King Kong is here hustling with you, then why not you? Millionaires, multimillionaires, billionaires are out there hustling on Memorial Day. And you're not? Come on, man. Shit. And you're not financially where you want it to be? It shouldn't be taking a break. Dude, it should be stepping on the gas, baby. My camera guy and I just went out to the property that we're just finishing up our rehab. I'm going to keep it as maybe a long-term, mid-term, or short-term rental. I don't know. But I just went out there, spent 3 hours hustling, creating content, walking through the property, and now I'm coming back. There's no day off, baby. Because you know why? The money don't sleep, so the hustle don't stop, baby. Plus, I love you guys so much, man. I really want to help each and every. So my goal is I want to help every single one of you escape the J or the B, build your own business. Whether you want to make $20,000 a month or $100,000 a month, but my goal is to help you escape the J or the B, have your own little business, all right, and become financially free. Because, man, I'm telling you, dude, financial independent, and having your own business where you get to wake up to do whatever you want, whenever, wherever, and with whoever the F you want is the best feeling. So let's rock and roll. So there's a couple things that I want to talk about before I head into any question, all right? Instagram family, head over to YouTube. I'm going to shut off IG. Okay, here we go, baby. So first thing I want to talk about, YouTube fam, is let's talk about hiring employee, all right? So whether you want to hire a VA or U.S.-based employee, here's something I do want to talk to you guys about. I know I don't touch on this topic a lot. Let me make sure that, okay, cameras, okay. I don't touch on this topic a lot, but let's talk about when it comes to hiring, you know, whether you're hiring a VA from another country or U.S. employee to grow and scale your wholesaling operations. Here is what you need to understand, okay? You don't just want to hire, let's just say you have a position for a lead manager, okay? Let's say you have a position where you want to hire someone to come in and filter and qualify the lead for you. You don't want to just hire one person. Don't make this mistake. All right? It took a few years to figure this out. You don't want to just hire one person. What you want to do is you want to hire at least 3 persons at a time. So you're going to interview a lot of people, but you're going to hire 3 of them at the same time for the same position. Here's why. Because a lot of you think like, oh my God, Kong, isn't that a waste of money? I only need 1. I understand that. But here's something you don't understand because you haven't been in business long enough to understand this. And that's why your boy King Kong is here to help you, put you in that right game, save you time, and save you a lot of money. So what's going to happen is when you hire 3 of them, I almost can promise you in the next 30 days or less, 1 of them, 1 out of 3 will quit. So now you're down to 2, okay? And out of those 2, you want them to compete with each other to fight for the position, which means whoever performs the best, you're going to end up keeping 1 of them, okay? But what happened is you think like, oh, you know what? I only need 1 person, so I'm just going to hire 1 person. Well, and then you're going to spend the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks training this person up, and all of a sudden one day they just call you or text you. Sometimes they don't. Ask me how I know. I've been in business, guys, since Lon and I was 20. Been in the real estate game for 12 years. Sometimes they don't even call you. And a lot of them will say, and I see so many people, oh man, there's no jobs. No, dude, a majority of them don't want to work. They don't want to go out there and look for work, right? But I'm saying some of them they will quit. So you spent 2 weeks, 3 weeks training this one person for this one position, and all of a sudden 30 days later, they quit. They just waste. They are what I call a time waster. They just waste your time. But what happened is if you hire 3 at the same time, well, guess what, my friend? Now you're spending the same amount of time. You're training 3 different people for the same task using the same amount of time. And like I said, once of them are going to quit, and then you end up just going to keep one. And that's how you don't waste time. Because you guys got to understand, the thing that costs the most is what's called a turnover. You hire somebody, you put so much time, effort, and energy to train that person up to be the best they can at that position, and then they quit on you. Like a little beep, right? They end up quitting on you, and then now you start back at ground zero again. So instead, you need to hire more, and then within the next 30 to 60 to 90 days, whatever it is, you end up picking one person. And what you want to do, the next step, my friend, is you want to make sure that you don't want to have one person doing just one thing or knowing one thing. You want to cross-train your employee. I'm sharing you 12 years of experience. This is not something where you will read in a textbook, my friend. This is not something where a professor can teach you this. The only way you know this is actually going through the experience. So what you want to do is you want to cross-train them. So why? Because what happened if you train one person up for the lead manager and you have another employee in your company, but they don't know how to do this position. And then let's just say this person, all of a sudden the lead manager take vacation or they're sick. What are you going to do? Well, you have to step in and do their work. I'm sure you don't want to. So what you need to do is you need to cross-train them. So that way, if one leaves, you always have a backup. You always can have someone comes in, take over their position, or do whatever, take over their task. Pretty much that's what it is. So always want to make sure you cross-train your employee, so that way not one person knows one thing, but maybe the other one knows this person knows this, and you just cross-train. Okay? You never want to depend on what's one person. Never, ever. Okay? Is that clear? Okay? So now this is out of the way, the next thing I want to talk about is paying cash. So today, I was in the car, and my videographer asked me. He wants to get into real estate. He's making good amount of money, okay? He doesn't want to, get into wholesaling, all right? But he's making good amount of money, and he wants to get into real estate. And I said, well, maybe you need to start buying rental property. But before I talk about this, here's why you don't want to pay cash for any property. Whether it's your own home, whether it's an investment property, you don't want to pay cash. Here's why. And you don't want to pay off your house. I'll talk about that later. But let's just say that you got $500,000 sitting in your bank. Okay? Let's just say you got $500K sitting in your bank. And you decided, you know what? I'm going to go buy this property for $300,000. And then I'm going to spend $400,000, and I'm going to spend $100,000 to renovate it. Okay? And then you'll be like, yep, you know what? I got $500K. I'm just going to use my cash. So you take $500,000, you buy for $400,000, and then you spend $100,000 to renovate the property. So you're using your own money to buy and to renovate, which is not smart. Well, let me tell you this. What happened if you use your money to buy this property for $400,000 and you thought that it's going to cost $100K to renovate it? All of a sudden, you went over budget and it actually takes another $50,000. What's going to happen then? Now you got no money in the bank. Okay? Or maybe you spend all the money and then all of a sudden there's another opportunity that comes up that you could buy this property for 40% or 50% off. You don't have the money to buy it. So you just pass on an opportunity cost. But then if you use all your money, you're going to put yourself in a tight financial situation. What if the market took a turn? What if something comes up? What if you got hit by a car, whatever it is? And then now you're in the hospital for 3 months. What if some crisis happened in your family? See, you always want to make sure that you leverage, and you always want to make sure to stay liquid, as much liquid as possible. Now, you don't want to overdo it, but you want to make sure you have liquid. You stay liquid. So I told him, instead, let's just say you got $500K, dude, sitting in the bank, instead of paying $400,000 for the house out on cash, dude, what you need to do is you need to get hard money. You need to get hard money or private money lending, PIVET, okay? You need to leverage hard money or private money, okay, to buy the property for $400,000. And then you can use your $100,000 out of your $500 to rehab the property. Now you still got $400,000 in your bank to basically, it's a reserve. So if anything happens, right, when you're doing the renovation, dude, you got $400K to fall back on. And let's just say you saw another opportunity comes up, dude, you got $400,000 that you can pop out to buy another property. And those of you who don't understand, hard money lender, when you go and you get a loan with them, they typically want you to put at least 10% down. They want to see you put 10% down. Okay? So you got to make sure that you want to stay liquid, so that way if this opportunity comes up, bam, you can take advantage of the opportunity. Make sense? Okay? Okay, Santana said, how long should I wait after I send possible seller a message? I don't even know what this question is asking me. How long should I wait after I send some possible seller? I don't even know this question's right here. Santana, I have no clue what you just asked, man. Angel asks, how can I avoid telling my cash buyer my assignment fee? Well, Angel, number one is your cash buyer. If they ask you how much you're going to make, just tell them, hey, listen, the price that you're buying it for already included in my assignment. It's already included our assignment fee in there. And when you talk to a cash buyer, same thing when you talk to a seller. And I actually saw a video of another real estate investor, and he said this. He said, hey, just be upfront with the seller. Just tell the seller that you are the buyer. Don't lie to the seller that you have to go get an approval from a purchase manager. Don't have to get an approval saying your finance department, blah, 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 blah. I understand where he's coming from. And I don't think there's right or there's anything right. I don't think it's right or it's wrong. I think it's up to you how you want to do it. But you see, in my personal opinion, why make the negotiating harder than it already is? I don't see a problem with saying, hey, I need to go get an approval from my team manager. I understand that you don't have a team manager. I understand that. But it makes the negotiating a lot better. So, yes, are you lying to the seller? Yes, you are. But are you lying because you're going to scam them? No, you're not. So I don't see that as a big deal, right? Hey, I ran my finance department, run their numbers, and here's what they come back with. I don't see there's anything wrong with that. I look at it, it just makes the negotiating process better with the seller. So that way I don't feel like we're negotiating on the opposite side. And I think by having someone in the middle just give us an upper hand as a wholesaler to be able to negotiate with the seller. So I don't see there's anything wrong with it. To me, when you lie to a seller, is when you tell the seller, hey, we're going to close on this property. We don't need to inspect the property, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, you send a buyer out there and then you tell them, hey, we're going to inspect the property, and then you end up not closing on it. Now, I don't think you should do that. Okay? But I don't see there's anything wrong with saying, hey, I have a team manager to get an approval. My finance department did the research. They come up with a number, and here I am making you an offer. I don't see there anything wrong with it. As long as it makes the negotiating better, lock that up in the contract, you do what you say you're going to do, I don't see there's anything wrong with it. But Angel, so the reason I brought that up is to answer your question. How can I avoid telling my cash buyer the assignment fee? Tell them that, hey, whatever the price that they're buying, already including your assignment fee. That's it. That's all they need. That's all they need to know. Now, let's just say that they found out that they found out that you're going to make $20,000 on your wholesale fee. First off, you need to ask your buyer, hey, John, we're wholesaling, right? Do you have an issue if we made profit on this? I know you got a business to run. I also want you to understand that we also got a business to run. I got overhead. I got marketing costs. I got employees that I have to pay. But I just want to be upfront. I want to make sure that we're putting everything on the table here. That you're okay with me making a profit off of my wholesale deal. That's all. I don't care how much you make as a buyer. You can make $1 million off of my deal. I don't care. But I don't want you to worry about how much we make. And I want you to understand that you got a business to run. I also have a business to run. But when I talk to my buyer, I always tell my buyer that I got partners, that I got partner in on the deal. I always do. So when my buyer said, hey, what, you guys gonna make $20,000 on the deal? Yeah, dude. But I'm gonna make $10,000 and my partner is gonna get $10,000. So now they look at that, they'll be like, oh, okay, so you only make $10,000 instead of you by yourself making $20,000. I mean, it gets crazier when you go to like $50,000. So instead of them seeing you making $50,000, now you'll be like, well, I only make $25,000, my partner makes $25,000, and we got employee, we got overhead, we got marketing costs that we have to pay. But the buyer that counts your money, that look at your pocket, you should tell them that, hey, listen, are you worried about how much we make? Because, my whole thing is I want to build a good relationship with every single one of my clients. This is what we do for a living. We spend a lot of money on marketing to get these property, and then we bring it to you. Do you care how much we make? Because we don't care how much you make off of it, right? You can buy my deal and make $1 million off it if you want to. But I don't want to get into a situation where you are looking or you are worrying about how much we're making. Because then I'd rather just work with my other buyers. So if you can position yourself like that, when you talk to your buyer, now you have an upper hand. Makes sense? You got an upper leverage. Hey, if you don't want to work with us because you're afraid of how much we make, it's okay. I have other buyers that I can bring this deal to. Okay? But Angel, to answer your question as well, is always make sure you have a partner and that you're just splitting the commission. You're splitting the profit. Because there are buyers that worries about how much you make, no matter what, okay? But let's just say if you get to the point where you're making $50,000 on a deal, you can do what's called a double closing, so that way the buyer doesn't see how much you make. Make sense? Juan said, I'm using your deals for me now. No luck yet, but I'm going hard this month. Juan, let's rock and roll. Juan, my question to you is how long have you used the software? The reason I point this out, because a lot of you don't understand this. Okay? I want to share something with you because I want to make sure, and Juan, I'm not saying this to target you. And I appreciate that, dude. I appreciate that you're giving the software a shout out, but it's Deals, D-E-A-L-S, for those of you who don't know. Juan is talking about the software that actually allows you to literally go in any city, any states, and pull up distressed property nationwide. And what's crazy about this software, and let me give you the right software here. But what's crazy about this software is that it actually leverages AI, and it lets you know 90 days before anyone gets into like pre-foreclosure, tax delinquents, divorce, right? So you get to know 90 days before they get in trouble, so you get to target them before any other investor can get to them. Now that we're on that topic, here's something I like to ask for some of you who might be interested in this, okay? If you haven't joined my 3-day challenge masterclass, I truly highly suggest that you do so. It's going to cost you, I'm going to show you how to take a $100 investment and turn it into $20,000 a month by leveraging, so the day 1, day 2, day 3. To find out more, here's what you need to do, okay? Because on there, I'll show you exactly. All you need to do is go to WTM3day.com or check the link in the descriptions. It's the most intense, in-depth training I have ever done, where we spent 3 days together, an hour and a half on each day or an hour on each day. But check it out. Okay, so let me give you this straight. Okay, so Juan, let's just say that the software is $97 a month. Okay? And let's just say that you pay for a whole entire year, it's going to cost you about $1,200. You see, this is cost of doing business. You guys got to understand, like, this is cost of doing business. This is the cost of having software, technologies that allows you to beat out your competitions, that give you the upper hands. If you don't want to pay for it, that's fine. Right? You're gonna go do it the freeway like everybody else. Right? The software makes everything a lot easier. At a finger of tips, you can be in Bora Bora, open up your laptop, and you can pull up any list of distressed property nationwide. So let's just say that you spent $1,200 for the whole entire year, right? And then let's just say you go at this, okay, let's just say you spend $97 a month. And you've been going at this, let's just say, for 3 months. How much does that cost you? How much does that software just cost you? $300. Okay? But did you know one deal can make you $20,000. So even if you have the software for the whole entire year, it'll cost you $1,200. But all you needed to pay off the investment is just to land one deal. So I don't know why some of you whine and complain like a little. Once again, I'm not targeting you. I'm just saying this in general. Because I get so many DMs about this. Because the reason why is because people don't have the business mindset. They don't have the business brain. It's cost of business, cost of investment, man. Oh my God, and they whine and complain like a little bitch. Come, oh man, I have the software for 3 months. I spent $300 already. I still couldn't get a deal. But all you need is one. All you need is one deal, my friend, and it will pay for the software 10 plus time over. 10 years. One deal will pay for the software for 10 years. Come on, man. Shit, bro. And this is what I mean by corrupted mindset. Those are the type of people that it's so hard to help them. Because the way that they think is already corrupted. They don't see this as a business expense, dude. It's cost to run a business. Right? And you want the easy route. So you got to pay up. Okay, let me see here. I know, Juan. Like I said, Juan, I think I remember, Juan, you're in the 3-day challenge, man. So I'm not saying specifically you, dude. I'm just saying in general, because I get a lot of comments. And I want everyone to understand the cost. And if you don't want to spend the money, that's fine. You don't have to. But you just understand that these other investors have something that you might not have that you can leverage. That's all. Okay, what other questions? Let me see here. What other question you guys got? Angel said, how do you calculate your offer price to the seller? And can I hide my assignment fee to cash buyer? Angel, I think I just answered your question about hiding your assignment fee. Yes, you can do what's called a double closing. How do you calculate your offer to the seller? So, Angel, I honestly recommend that you need to join my 3-day challenge masterclass. Cost $100. But dude, that 3 days, some people will even pay $10,000 to go to a seminar or an event. And they don't even share with you as much as I share with you in the 3-day challenge masterclass. So you can check it out, the link in the description, Angel, or go to WTM3day.com right there. Okay, but let me answer you, okay? So all you need to do is to know what to offer to the seller, ARV, which stands for after repair value. What does the property's worth after fix up? So let's just say it's worth $100,000 after you do all the renovation. You automatically minus 30%. Okay, you minus 30%. Because that's how much the investor wants to make on their money. Okay? They want to make 30% on their money. So now you're at $70,000. Okay? Now you're at $70,000. Then you got to figure out, well, how much does it cost to rehab the property? Let's just say it costs another $10,000 to rehab the property. So which means the investor will buy the property for $60,000. So anything you get lower than $50,000, Angel, is yours to keep. So let's just say that you got the seller to agree to $50,000, then you sell to the buyer for $60,000. Make sense? And that is the formula But you can always mess with this number depending on how competitive your market is. For example, Seattle, New York, California, you don't need to go 30%. I bet you could get somewhere even in 20%, which means you can offer the seller more, which means the investor, they only want 20% off. Make sense, Angel? So let me do this math so you can understand. So let's just say that you're in Seattle. It's a hot market. You only need a 20% discount. Most buyer will be like, hey, if I get 20% off, I'm cool. So let's just say same thing. Property's worth 100,000, you minus 20%. Now you're at 80,000 instead of 70,000, and then it costs 10,000 to repair it. Now, which means that investor will buy this property instead of 60,000, they'll pay you 70,000. So you get under contract for 50, instead of making 10,000, you make $20,000 on your wholesale fee. Make sense? Okay, let's move on to the next one. Oh man, Angel, lots of questions, man. Khang, what is the 30% mean, and how do I figure out what number is in California? Okay, I got you. So let me tell you, when I first started, the question Angel just asked me is the exact same thing that my videographer, he was asking me when we were in the car driving down to one of my rentals. So let me tell you why it's 30%, okay? Now, Angel, 30% is just a rule of thumb, okay? But it's not like that's what you have to. And let me tell you why 30%, okay? So ARV minus 30%. And let me tell you why 30%, okay? So if let's just say now think of me as the investor, as the house flipper. So here's how I would buy my property. So I would say ARV minus 30% minus repair. Once I explain this to you, Angel, you will understand why the investor go with 30%. So let's just say, once again, let's just say the property is 100,000. You minus 30%, that puts you at 70,000. And let's just say it needs 10,000 repair. So me, as the investor, as the house flipper, I would buy this property for 60,000. Okay, so let's just say I bought it for 60,000. All right, let's just say I'm the cash buyer. I bought it for 60,000, and then I put 10,000 to fixing it up. So now I'm all in on that property, okay, for 70,000. So now this property's in perfect condition. I bought it for 60. I spent the 10,000 to rehab it. Now it's in perfect condition. Now I'm all in. I'm all in on this property for $70,000. Now, Angel, this is why the investor wants to buy it at a 30% discount. Because after they buy it, okay, let's just say that they were to buy and keep it as a long-term rental. They would go back to the bank. They would go to the bank, Angel. They would get a loan on it. They would do what's called cash out refi. And the bank would loan you 75% on the appraised value. So once again, they already know that the property's going to worth 100,000, right? And then now they know that the bank's going to loan them 75% on that 100,000. So which means the bank will loan them 75,000 on this house. Okay? But as the investor, they have 70,000 into it. So which means the bank will loan them 75,000. Now they get to take the cash back. They get to take that $70,000 that they have into the property back out. And now they own this property with none of their own money. And this is the exact same one. All right, this is how we just recently bought, closed, and did a cash out on one of my most recent rental. So the bank will loan them 75,000, but they only have 70,000 into it, which means they get to take back their 70,000 plus they just made another extra $5,000, and that money is tax free because it's considered as a debt, not an earned income. So if it's a debt, you don't pay tax on debt. That's why you keep hearing rich people, they own a bunch of debt, so they don't pay taxes. It's because anything that's a loan it's not considered as an earned income. Make sense? Angel, does this make sense? So does this make sense? Angel, that's why they want to buy it at a 30% discount, because they want to be able to go to the bank, get a cash out refi, and they want to make sure that the 30% will protect them in case anything happens. They have the wiggle room. So if anything happens, they have an extra $5,000 to play with. But we're talking on a small scale, you know, because if we were talking about a $500,000 purchase or ARV, the number would have been a lot bigger. Okay? So if I were you, I would say in California, 25%. Like basically, investor in those market, Angel, they're willing to take more risk, because like in Seattle, appreciate really quick, and the market is hot. There's a lot of buyers. There's a lot of like first-time home buyers, so they're willing to take a lot more risk in the market that are hot. So I would say California, New York, Seattle, right? Those markets are hot market. So they're willing to take higher risk. So they don't need the 30% off. They're okay with 25 or even 20% off. Make sense? Okay. So I was telling my videographer, dude, you need to understand this formula. You need to understand this. And this is why I own all of my rentals that I own, I have no money in it. All of the cash I pull back out. So Angel, let me share this with you. Okay? But I need you to understand this though. Okay? Do not buy rental, Angel. You don't want to buy rental. You don't want to buy rental if you're not ready to play the 10 to 20 year game plan. Okay? Which means when you decide to buy rental, it's a long-term game. You're not going to get rich by buying rental within 1, 2, or 3 years. Okay? You're going to win when you play the 10 to 20 year game plan. Because when you decide to buy rental, you're not trying to get rich. You're trying to get wealthy. You're trying to build wealth. And if you want to build wealth, it's a 10 to 20 year game plan. So if you buy this property for $100,000 today, right? The cash flow, it probably pays you about $250 a month. That's when people talk about passive income, Angel. When you buy this, even so the house went out for $1,000, it doesn't mean that you collect $1,000 in rent. Because you got to pay the mortgage, you got to pay utilities, you got to pay, property tax. So there are expenses. So typically, we call that the 1% rule. If you buy for $100,000, you typically want to get $1,000 back in rent, and after everything is being taken care of and paid for, landscaping, maintenance, all of that, vacancy, you really only profit about $250. Okay? $250 a month ain't gonna change your life. Ain't gonna do any shit. This right here, $250, one trip to Costco. Came out with a bag of chips. It's $250. Okay? So I tell people, so the goal is you got to get rich first. You got to focus on building your wholesaling business first. And once you're able to stack away at least $100,000 in the bank, at that point, what you need to do, Angel, wholesale 4 and then keep 1. Wholesale 4 house and keep 1. That way you're getting rich and you're building wealth at the same time. Okay? Because once you start to make a lot of money from your wholesaling business, if you don't buy rental property, then you're going to pay Uncle Sam 40 to 50%, depending on what state you live in. California, 50%. I don't even know how people can live in California and get rich when you pay Uncle Sam 50%. So let's just say you make $1 million, Angel, okay? Instead of paying Uncle Sam $400,000, guess what? You're going to take that $400K and you're going to go buy a piece of real estate. And then I told my videographer, that property is like your own bank. So instead of you taking the money, give it to Uncle Sam, you put it all in your own little piggy bank. You're not going to see this $400,000 ever, bro. It's going to sit in that property. But instead of giving to Uncle Sam, you put it in your little piggy bank, your little house, your little asset. Okay? Everybody clear? This makes sense? Because once you understand the game, once you understand the game, you're much more clear and you're much more confident on what action you need to take to hit your financial goal. Because Angel, let's just say if you want to make $20,000 a month, you know, and you think about buying rental property, you think about that passive income, you know how many rental you would have to own to hit $20,000 a month? Quite a bit. There are people that have 100 property and still could hit $20,000 a month. And how long is it going to take you to own 100 rentals, Angel? A long time, right? So if you want to make $20,000 a month, you don't want to buy rental first. You want to start building your wholesaling business, because within 1 to 2 years, every single one of you that are watching this can make $20,000 from wholesaling, and it's not that hard. That's only $240,000 a year. It's not that hard, to be honest with you. It's not that hard. And I truly believe that I don't care what state you're in, even if you're in California or New York, I think if you can get to the point where you have your own business and you can make $20,000 a month, you can live a pretty good life. But until you get there, dude, $5,000 is a struggle. Yeah, with inflation and everything, $20,000, you can spend $10K a month mortgage. You can drive a nice car. I think, you can go out and eat, travel, and you still be able to save $10,000. So spend $120,000 on whatever it is and save $120,000. Once you get to $20,000 a month, you can spend $10K and save $10K. If you can't save $10K, you have an issue. Your issue, dude, is you spent too much money. You're not financially literate. You're not smart with your money. If you make $20K a month, if you can't manage to save at least, honestly, I say $10,000. If you can't, there's an issue here. Okay? Because what happened is most people, once they start to make $20,000 a month, they're gonna spend like they make $1 million a year, and you're not a millionaire yet. I see so many people, dude, that makes $100,000 to $200,000 a year, and they live like they're a millionaire. You're not a millionaire, bro. You're not a millionaire. Don't act like you're a millionaire. Don't try to live like you're a millionaire. You're nothing but a fake bowler. I'm calling every single one of you out that are making between $100,000 to $200,000 a year, and you're broke. You're living paycheck to paycheck. First, I don't have a college degree. I'm a high school dropout. But your financial literacy is below sea level. It's worse than mine. What's the point of getting a college degree when you couldn't even understand finance, dude? Dude, I see people that makes $100,000 to $200,000 a year driving a $100,000 car. Come on, man, shit. Are you stupid, bro? You just spent a whole year of your income buying a car. Oh, but I'm just making payments on it. That's your problem. Your problem is you don't understand that, dude. Those little payments, dude, will add up. $300 here, $400 here, $1,000 here. That's why people, dude, they get in credit card debts. That's why they're like, oh my God, I don't know why I'm $600,000 in debt. It's because it's a little here, it's a little here. It adds up. And what happened is you start building up these bad habits. Make sense? You start spending like you're a bowler, but you're broke. That's why I said, dude, don't try to be a bowler when you got no dollar. And I'm sure some of you know somebody that makes six-figure, but spend like they're a millionaire. Dude, you make $100,000 a year, dude. It's what I make in 2 weeks, and I don't even wear designer clothes. Why are you? Come on, man. Shit, bro. That's why I always say, dude, the goal is to get rich first before you try to look rich. Because if you try to look rich before you got rich, you end up being a little bitch until you're 65. I know some of you don't want to hear it, but it's okay. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. And some of you need to hear that. What good starting SMS platform is called Launch Control. That's who we use. I'll put my affiliate link with them in the description if you want to check them out. I got you, bro. Okay, what other questions here? I got another 5 minutes, and we're about to head out. I got 5 minutes. Let's go. Okay, Angelica, how do you run accurate comps, present the property so buyer can trust our numbers, and so we can build better relationship with them? Angelica, maybe I mispronounced your name. I apologize if I do mispronounce your name. If you follow me for a while, you understand that I'm a high school dropout, reading, writing. It's just not my expertise, all right? I know some of you go and read my stuff and say, oh my God, grammar's, one of those grammar police comes in. Show me your bank account, bro. Because, dude, when you go to the bank, they don't care about your grammars. They never ask me when I go to the bank. They do not ask me for my GED. They do not ask me for my college degree. They do not ask me for my high school diploma. They do not ask me for my grammars, if my grammar is good. They do not spell check me or grammar check me. You know what they need? You know what they want? All they need to see is my profit and loss. How much money I got. That's it. In this real world, my friend, money talks, bullshit walk. A lot of you got a lot of degrees, dude, but your bank account, dude, tells me you got none. Okay, let's go. Now, I say that it's not to mock anybody with a degree. Okay, please don't get me wrong. I say that I want you to understand that you don't need a degree to succeed. That's all it is. And if you have a degree and you're like, oh, dude, why am I not winning in life? Well, you might want to double check that. Because that degree is what got a lot of people in trouble. Okay? How do you run accurate comps? So, Angelica, if I were you, I highly suggest that you join my 3-day masterclass challenge. Link is in the descriptions. Because we literally go through all of this. Like, how do you present? Like, we literally showed you, okay? Okay, how do you download this? All these, comps into a PDF and send it over to your buyer so you look like a professional. You look like you know what you're doing. Literally walk you through all of that. I can't do it with you because we have to share the screens. I have to log in. Like, I can only tell you, consider joining because it's probably one of the best investments you can ever make. But all you need to do is figure out comps. You just need to find 3 comparables, 3 properties that are similar to yours that are just recently sold, typically in the last 6 months. And that's how you figure out what the property's worth. And then you would, print out those properties that are sold and then send it over to your buyer along with the property that you just got under contract. And always tell them, hey, do your own research, but here's how we come up with our comps, and here's all the property that are recently sold, supported. That's all you got to do, okay? I think I'm running out of time. Lily said, when will you do the 3 challenge again? Lee, I can't pronounce your last, but Lee, the best thing for you to do is go to WTM3day.com, sign up for the 3-day challenge. I'll send you all the recording in your email. You can watch it anytime you want, whenever you want, and you have access to it for life. So you can rewatch it over and over again. Because literally in there, I literally show you where unlike YouTube, you sit there and you listen to what I say and you just take notes, not in the challenge. In the 3-day challenge masterclass, I literally have you open your laptop. I'll share my screen. We walk through everything together. I'll show you how to sign up for this software. Okay? How to pull the list. What list to target. How do you list stack? So that way you're not wasting a bunch of money targeting to random people. Because that's what a lot of you do. Because you don't know what list to hit. and you're just calling a bunch of people. But those people are not in a distressed situation. So how do we not waste time and waste marketing money targeting people that are not motivated? So, let's just say that you get a list of 1,000 people. But how do you know those 1,000 people are in the distressed situation? And you end up sending them a letter or a postcard, but a postcard costs you 50 cents. A letter would have cost you $1. So you wasted $1,000 targeting the wrong type of people. See, this is why when you have clear action plan with the right technology, the right software, and you put in the WOR, the K, that's how you get faster results. I post a testimonial of one of Brian, who joined the 3-day challenge masterclass, closed his first deal, implementing what we share in the 3 days. 45 days later, closed his first deal for $18,000. Can't do it any faster. I mean, you could, but dude, that's pretty good, man. 45 days. Who here would be like, hey, Khang, I'll grind for the next 45 days to make 18 G's? There you go. All right, that's all the time that I have. Truly hope that this live stream add a lot of value to you. If you have any other questions, just comment down below. I'll do my best to answer them. If you haven't followed me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, just go to @RealKingKhang. That's my username. I appreciate each and every single one of you that are here with me. Now, for those of you, I know I've been having a lot of you ask me, hey, Khang, do you have any coaching or mentorship? Go to coachwithkhang.com if you want to work with me and my team directly. Kind of like more of like a hands-on mentorship coaching, guiding you through how to start, build, grow, scale, and automate your wholesaling business. Whether you want to make $20,000 a month or $100,000 a month, our game plan is to help you close the gap and get you where you want it to be. Anyways, until next time, take care, and let's go get this money. I'm out.